CARE is America's pork producers' promise that pork producers and their employees will carry out responsible and ethical practices in all areas of production, that they and their employees are dedicated to continually improving production practices and are making this industry better for all concerned, pork producers, food industry partners, and consumers worldwide. Safeguarding the environment comes naturally to America's pork producers because they understand their inherent responsibility to preserve natural resources for future generations. Today, pork producers have taken this to the next level with the 3 measurable pillars of environmental sustainability: carbon footprint, water footprint, and land footprint, while also committing significant resources to maintaining and improving air quality. A new study finds that while pig farms of years ago may be remembered as idyllic, they were not as sustainable as pig farms today. This becomes clear as the metrics most associated with sustainability are revealed as compared to a 1959 baseline: a 35% decrease in carbon footprint, a 41% reduction in water usage, and a 78% drop in land needed to produce a pound of pork. This is partly due to the U.S. federal government's Clean Air and Water Acts, which direct the industry to monitor and prevent pollution. U.S. pork producers have demonstrated their care for the environment by embracing these regulations. Today, Crickey Pork raises about 10,000 wean-to-finish hogs per year in 2 tunnel-ventilated barns. Each shower-in, shower-out barn houses about 2,500 pigs and uses technology and engineering to keep the animals moving around the entire structure.
And the pigs are in rotation all the time. There's no individual pen for these pigs. There's a heavy food court and a light food court. And in the food court, we have the feed, but there's no water. The water is all in the loafing area, and that's the driver to go from the food court to the loafing area. But to get into the food court, they have to go through the scale system. The scale system measures the weight of each of the pigs and then determines if it goes to the light side or the heavy side.
While the programmable sorter helps keep the pigs moving, it also presents Crickey with data on the entire herd's weight. The movement within the Crickey system gives the pigs the benefit of robust animal health and ultimately meat quality. Manure is collected in pits under each barn that holds about a year's worth of effluent. This manure is applied to corn and soybean cropland each spring as a natural fertilizer.
Manure is more than just nutrient, and what the manure does for the ground through tilth, through increased activity of earthworms and soil bacteria, the ground actually comes alive again to a certain extent after it's been farmed.
Conservation of soil and water is also an important consideration at Crickey Pork. They use no-till practices on soybean acres and minimum till for corn. They've even engineered a way to work with nature to use rainwater runoff from the barns and driveways to recharge the groundwater supply.
And again, our goal is to leave the land or the operation in better shape than the way we found it.
The Russell Brothers Farm produces about 14,000 wean-to-finish pigs per year in tunnel-ventilated deep pit barns. Today, Russell Brothers Farm is a showplace for both tried and true and leading-edge conservation practices, including the use of renewable energy. When it comes to manure on the farm, Russell Brothers uses several feed additives to help the pigs use feed more efficiently and help protect the environment. For this farm, that means using phytase to reduce phosphorus and a microbial feed additive that helps maintain the manure's valuable nitrogen. Manure is injected into the Russell Brothers crop ground using a drag hose system on the 480 acres of cropland they own, along with the other acreage they rent and custom farm. The Russells use no-till practices on soybean acres and minimum till for corn. Grass waterways further minimize erosion and protect water quality.
It's important for our family to be good stewards of the land because the land, it's always going to be here. And my grandfather is a huge conservationist and has taught conservation about farming practices since I can remember. And my husband's family is the same way. And this is something we feel strongly about and we want to continue with our family.
This farm houses 21,000 feeder to finish animals. We ship about 55,000 animals from this farm to market each year. Milford is located at about 5,500 feet above sea level, so we're kind of a high desert in southern Utah. All of our water comes from the mountains, which then percolates down through the aquifers, and then we're able to pump the water to water our hogs.
Well, our daily routine starts early in the morning here. We come in and we walk every alley and jump every pen, check every pig to make sure they're healthy, happy, the water's working, the feed's working right. We have a computer that we check the temperature in the room every day. It gives us a high temperature and a low temperature, so we know that everything's working right overnight.
The shallow pits are flushed weekly with water that's recycled from the lagoons. The lagoons are lined with a high-density polyethylene that exceeds state regulatory guidelines. After the manure goes through the anaerobic digester, the farm takes advantage of its high desert climate to use evaporative basins to dry the manure into solid fertilizer for use on cropland.
Being good stewards of the land here at Blue Mountain Farms and Circle 4 Farms is something we take with the highest priority. To keep an environment safe, secure for my family to be raised in, my children to grow up in, as well as community members. This is where we live, and we want to continue to live. We're going to do all we can to protect and enhance it.
The Cluthies in Dodge, Nebraska, like many other farmers who raise pigs today, are always looking for a better way to do it. That means making sure their farm smells as good as it looks, since one of their neighbors is Sacred Heart Olean, a historic church located just across the road from their Bacon Hill farm.
It's important to be good stewards because there's more generations coming down the road, and we want to make sure that everything is better than we had it, as good at least, or better. And I think that being a good steward is just something that should come normal, and we should practice every day.
As you can see, U.S. pork producers continue to ensure that the food they produce is done so in a responsible and caring way for animals, consumers, and the environment. U.S. Pork is working to serve as each customer's primary long-term trade partner. And with that comes safe, high-quality, nutrient-dense pork by raising healthy animals and being socially responsible.